We've just pulled up to Cahills Crossing car park. It's over the East Alligator River and provides access into Arnhem Land. We're hoping to spot ourselves some crocodiles and hopefully a few cars, fingers crossed. We'll see.
We've just arrived at Cahills Crossing and we found a flagon of crocodiles, that's what they're called, a flagon.
Oh my God, Ben. What are they thinking? Oh my gosh. That's crazy. Honey. Love it. Yes. Good enough.
So here I am, just minding my own business, walking around Kakadu. And who do I run into? None other than our very own Michelle. Hi Michelle.
Hi Ben.
How are you going?
Good, thanks.
Where are we?
We're at Ubirr rock site, and I'm probably completely butchering the pronunciation of that. It's one of the largest collections of Aboriginal rock art in Australia, or at least the Northern Territory.
Oh, g'day guys, how are you? We are at...
Nourlangie?
Yeah,
Rock
that's it.
site.
Can you spell that for us? Hey guys, where are we, Shell?
We're at some lookout. That's going to be looking out over Nourlangie, which is where we just were.
Some lookout. Look in Google, in Northern Territory, some lookout. That's where you'll find us.
But we do have to be looking out for buffalo, apparently, on this walk.
Where the buffalo roam. Also, big crocodile warning too. So we've got to beware of that. I'll be keeping an eye out on the crocodile shells on Buffalo Rock. Where are we, Shell?
Mount Isa Underground Hospital. That was very interesting. I think the most interesting thing is that, okay, so this underground hospital was built basically as a reaction to the bombing of Darwin. So they built this underground hospital because obviously with the location of Mount Isa being close to the Gulf of Carpentaria, there was a real risk that this could sustain Japanese air raids much like Darwin did. So they built this underground hospital. Didn't really ever need it for anything. And after a couple of years, by the sounds of it, it was just being used as storage. So randomly what they did was they actually just buried in the entrances, left all the equipment, everything inside, which I think was the most bizarre thing about the story. What do you think, Ben?
I agree.
Anyway, so they did that in 1967. They finally buried in the entrances, even though it hadn't been used. I think it got up and running around 1943, 1944, roughly. And then kids actually found it. And it was because kids got into it and were smoking and started a little fire. The kids were fine, the area was fine, but obviously someone saw the smoke coming out of a ventilation shaft. They sent fireys and police and whatnot, and then they obviously made the news, and then it kind of prompted the town to get together and determine, okay, well, is it worthwhile preserving this, you know, piece of history? And, you know, it was decided that it was. Yeah, it was really interesting, wasn't it?
Worth a visit.
Well, definitely worth a visit. Yeah, definitely worth a visit.
And I thought we're going to an underground mine. Where are we, Shell?
Walkabout Creek Hotel. So we're in McKinley, which is the home of the Walkabout Creek Hotel, which is now also referred to as the Crocodile Dundee Bar, because this bar featured in the movie Crocodile Dundee. And so the locals wouldn't lose their watering hole, they built this stage bar, which is where Mick Dundee frequents and obviously is featured in the movie. Looks like once upon a time you could go in there and get a photo, but they must have stopped doing that.
It's storage now. It's all locked up.
Which is weird because it's still kind of advertised as a real touristy place. But...
you see, it's stuff. Him and me both, Wal.
Then spirit animal right there on the ground.
That was me half an hour ago.
I don't think I've ever seen a rhino before.
Yeah, you're not far either. Podcast I listened to, the guy was feeding zebras and it bit his elbow, ate his whole elbow bit, and they almost had to amputate his arm.
The zebra did?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Very aggressive animals. They're not friendly like horses. People assume they're like a horse. Not at all. They're very angry.
Ah.
Aggressive.
Interesting. So this is a white rhino, which basically just means it's got a wide mouth.
Yes.
It doesn't have like a little index finger thing like the black rhinos do.
Wide. So got its name by accident.
Because wide sounds like white. I reckon he knows what's happening because he can hear the talking.
Yeah.
I get the impression that he's looking at us for food, eh?
Well, I don't think he's looking at us to say hello.
Yeah, wow. That's the most I've ever felt stalked by a zoo animal.
He's looking straight at you too.
I know. Imagine if we just started running. If they can swim, what's to stop them from... Can they not get up the corrugated iron? That's a terrifying creature right there. You reckon?
Nah, I'll give it a cuddle.
Give it a cuddle. You reckon?
Yep.
Okay. Now you are missing Charlie. Oh, look his little nose. Are they these pig nose ones?
Maybe, yeah, I reckon it is.
Have to be. Look at that little face. Look at you. Look at you.
And that wraps up our throwback to our Northern Territory road trip we took back in 2023. As always, thanks again for watching, guys, and if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more of our travel adventures. Make sure you tune in next time as we share with you another of our favourite local free camping spots. We'll catch you then. Bye!